Hi, I'm Dave Bachman. This is my son, Alex Bachman. And I have to say that the training that he's received from Chris Thomas is absolutely priceless. He knows how to beat the defense before the ball is even snapped. And Chris has helped him tremendously with his precision on his routes and his ball skills. So he's been working with Chris since middle school, so 6 years. And so we arranged for a couple private sessions before camps this last year, spring and summer, after his junior season. We arranged for a couple privates before the Under Armour Rivals Camp and then before the on-campus college camps. And he performed so well that he was actually interviewed by the media after the camp, after one of the camps. And what's totally amazing is with absolutely no stats, no catches or anything his junior year, as a matter of fact, on varsity at all at that point, he received preseason Division I offers, is now going on to play for a big-time Division I program on full scholarship. And I have to say a lot of the credit has to go to Chris and his help he's given Alex. So if you are at all interested in helping your kids achieve the highest level of success, they absolutely should be working with Chris Thomas and Fusion.
Yeah, I've been working with Chris for a long time, and I honestly don't know where I would be in football without him. The things I've learned with Chris, I've learned nowhere else. A lot of camps you go to, and it's more about the kids you meet and just the opportunity to compete. But going to Chris's camp, I started to learn just the basics, and slowly, the more and more I worked with Chris, the more and more I saw results. So started off just being able to get off a jam, which a lot of kids aren't able to do. I've seen phenomenal Division I athletes, even guys in the pros I still watch, and I'm like, this guy still doesn't know how to run a route. He's still relying off his size and speed. But with Chris, with the technique you learn, you're able to go up against any DB, whether he be stronger or faster than you. During the camps that I went to, college camps or the Under Armour Rivals camps or the Nike camps, I went up against kids that had a lot of hype and were supposed to be big D1 guys. And although they were athletic, faster, and maybe stronger than me, my technique when I went up against them, I knew I had a chance every single time to catch a ball or make a great play, just based off what Chris has done for me and how he has helped me. So, I mean, Chris is just the way to go. I can't say it any other way, because he's changed my game, and everything I do at the receiver position is based off what he's taught me. And even at the college pro level, I'm not even sure if the coaching there is teaching what Chris has taught me, because his coaching is second to none.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, at one of the camps they had Alex demoing all the drills because they were amazed. The comments that we heard over and over were that, wow, you look really refined. Where did who's been teaching you? Because they say they usually spend their 4 years in college trying to teach him a lot of the things that Alex already knows. And as a matter of fact, at practice, one of his coaches made a comment about you getting off the jam. What was he?
Well, I was just learning the basics. I hadn't had any privates yet with Chris, but I'd gone to camps and some sessions with him. So at that point, I knew how to get off the jam, and not necessarily how to finish top of my route. But when we were just doing one-on-one drills with the DB and the receiver of learning how to get off a jam, no one could stop me. And just based off what I had learned from Chris. And so the coaches asked me, like, who's been teaching you this stuff? Like, how do you know how to get off a jam so well? Because the way you get off a jam and the way everyone else tries to get off a jam is just so big a difference. I mean, it's obvious that you've been working with someone.
Yeah, and a lot of the DBs stopped jamming him because it had no effect whatsoever for him. So.
That's all thanks to Chris. I mean, I have some athleticism, but the way I've been able to have success at the level I have is solely off what Chris has taught me. So I can't thank him enough for that, and I really think you should work with Chris if you really want to be successful as a wide receiver.
My name is Diamond Lee. I go to Chaminade. I play wide receiver and quarterback, and I'm 2016. I'm a junior this year.
Okay. How long have you been going to Fusion?
I've gone for the past 2 off seasons.
The last 2 seasons. You're working with Bob
Yeah,
and
for the most part.
on the quarterback side, right? You have quite a drive. What makes that drive worth it? I mean, you're talking 30-40 minute drive to come out to a camp.
Just the specified training that they give out here, like how Bob really breaks down the fundamentals of throwing, and it's not just throwing; it's making reads too. He like puts you in the drop there where you need to be, where your eyes need to be on every read, every play, and then just being able to deliver the ball confidently. So it's worth it to get that training so you can be confident in the game Friday nights.
Mm-hmm. Are you the only one attending, or was your brother involved in this? Or
My brother came. He came as a receiver, and before he was just an athlete out there playing the game. But then coming here, like Chris taught him how to run his routes, how to make every route look the same. Like if he's running something short, he makes it look like he's going in deep now. It's just really took his game to the next level because he played running back his whole life. And now he's playing slot receiver in college now. He's a legitimate D1 receiver, and I think it's because of Chris that took him there. Route running is definitely the biggest improvement because I didn't officially go to all the receiver camps and workouts, but being able to watch them, see what Chris is telling the receivers, and I was able to practice it a little bit on my own once I was healed and everything, and it just it helped my route running and my ability to like break down, going full speed, catching the ball and everything, just really getting more mental reps, and like you can even learn that way. But I understand that learning from him, learning the drills that he does, like that'll take your game even to a further level. So hopefully I'll be able to do that soon.
you obviously do other camps as well. What makes this camp stand out over the other camps?
Because those camps are mainly for publicity, all the other ones, but this one's really to make you a better quarterback or receiver. And if the way that I see is if you bring your receiver out here, your quarterback, you bring your receiver, then you're not just it's not like just going out to the park running routes. Like you're coming out here and you're running routes, and he's putting it to where in a game, which with the defenders and everything, you're just playing catch because the receiver is going to be wide open after he makes his break and everything. So it's just building chemistry and building the skills that you need to succeed.
Playing in high school, do you see this transition spilling over into the college level? I mean, is this skills that you can bring up, or is this primarily a high school thing?
Well, yeah, it's definitely skills that you can bring up because I look at a lot of NCAA, a lot of NFL, like how their receivers move and how the quarterbacks move. Like these are things that you don't know that they've learned, but we're getting to learn it at the high school level. So that's going to put us so far ahead of the game that it's definitely worth it to come here.
Chaminade has brought quite a bit of their skill athletes to Fusion. Do you see that translating to wins in your game?
Yeah, this is actually one of the first years. Like last year was our biggest year. That was the first year that we've been to state, and before that we went to CIF. But it's mainly because of the receivers and like everyone who came out here. Like because Brandon Lee was one of our big receivers. He's been working with Fusion forever, and he was a main target. He's going to be a main target again this year. He's committed to Wisconsin, so like the effort that they put in here really translates over well into the game, and it enhances the team pretty much.
Why should other athletes come to this program?
If you just want to get better, if you're hungry, you don't really know what you're doing. You're an athlete, but like just you don't really have the knowledge. Like you have all the talent. This will take your game to the next level because you can use your abilities plus what you know now, and it'll just enhance your game, and it'll put you so far ahead of everyone else.
My name is Matt Goldberg. I'm a senior out of Gora High School this year, and last year was my first year doing Fusion, going into my senior year. And I heard about it. One of my slot receivers on my team, junior year, was a stud, getting all, his routes were phenomenal, and all the time my coaches were saying, why can't you run routes like Kevin? Why can't you do this like Kevin? Why isn't your technique like that? And I was a solid receiver junior year, and I did some decent things, but it was never to the point where I could, just dictate how I wanted to run routes and change the defense how I wanted to. And so, I decided to make the investment and go to Fusion, and just my game it just did a complete 180 in terms of my mental game, especially because, now I see a defender pressed on me, I see a defender off me, inside, outside shade, and I know exactly what to do, before the snap, and I've already beat him, before the ball's even in the quarterback's hands, and just being able to do that and the confidence that it gives me is just unreal. And I know no matter how athletic, how gifted the guy is in front of me, he's not at the mental level I am, and he's not gonna stop what I have to do because I'm just one step ahead of him at all times, and that's 100% because of fusion and the techniques that Chris has taught us, and how to prepare and how to throw your body, manipulate it to make defenders think you're doing one thing, and when in reality you're doing the complete opposite. And it just it's a time investment over the off season, but one that it's benefited me, given me so much more than I put into it, just because of all the techniques, all the nuances of the game that I really had no idea existed, and you wouldn't really be able to appreciate it until you broke it down. And we're at all the clinics and just with all the guys, and how much we've all changed in terms of our route running techniques and just our ability to play the game. And I've confidence at the college level of this stuff is gonna allow me to do great things, just because there's really no defensive technique, defensive philosophy that's going to stop what fusion teaches. And if you're watching this video and you think it's just some normal camp, some thing that's offered here and there, you're wrong, because it's just a different way to approach the game of football that I've seen nowhere else, I've heard nowhere else, and I can't even begin to describe what it's done to my game and how much I've benefited, and just how many times I've thought during a game, well, if Chris didn't show me this, then we'd be losing. So I just want to thank Fusion, and I'd make the decision 1,000 times again.
Hi, my name is Janine Goldberg. My son Matthew is a senior at Agora High School, and we joined Fusion because of Jack Barmacy and Kevin Adams from Agora last year. They recommended it, and we'd searched out some other camps and then decided to go and try it out. So he did his evaluation, and that day at evaluations, my husband and I were sold on the program, just their approach to how they teach these kids. And then after going to several sessions, I would say to you as a parent, if you want your child to improve in an environment that's positive, there's no yelling. We've been to many camps where the coaches are yelling, they're up in your face, and that's not how they're taught. They're professionals, they're former NFL guys who understand how 17, 15, 16-year-olds think. And I can tell you that during the Fusion off season, this is how my son would go get eggs from the refrigerator. He was doing this, never done that before. So he would run routes in my kitchen over and over again. And then I can tell you, going to the Ivy camps over the summer, his route running was unbelievable. And that's the one thing that every single coach at all of the combine kind of stuff we went to at the Ivies and Division III schools commented was his expertise at running routes. And that's 100% Fusion and Chris Thomas. And we can't thank him enough. Guys, it's worth the investment.
My name's Dion Barnes, my son's Dylan Barnes, and this is our 4th year with Fusion. We learned about Fusion one day. Chris and Bob came out to a Pop Warner practice we had and told us a little bit about their program, which sounded great to us, so we decided to check it out. And at that time, my son was basically a pretty tall, skinny lineman who wanted to be a receiver, so we figured it's a good place to start, The most important thing I think I've gained and my son has gained from Fusion is his confidence in his gameplay. Chris has actually transformed him from basically being a lineman with good hands to a really good receiver, and that shows to this day. He runs clean routes. He gets off the ball and off his defenders really well. He gets separation, and that's all due to what Fusion has taught him, and the way Chris has taught him. And the best part about it is he actually enjoys football even more now. The confidence alone, I think, has brought him to that next level where he appreciates the game, and he understands it. So that was our biggest thing, and that's why we continue coming back, and as as I spoke of earlier, is what sold me on Fusion was the fact that Chris said, you know, when you get up to the next level, everybody competing, everybody's an athlete, everybody's agile, you know, everybody's supreme at what they are and what they do. And what part of that game do you have to separate yourself? And it became the mental game. And I bought into that, and I think that's really what has helped my son Dylan. So I think that's where this program obviously has helped him tremendously. You know, how to run a route, how to be a receiver, basically. Because yeah, we took him from a lineman, knowing that in high school he wasn't going to be a lineman, and he was quick and he had decent hands, so we worked, you know, on that. And we had tried other camps, a couple other ones, and you know, they didn't work for us, and I'm not going to mention names. We didn't get the one-on-one like we get here with Chris and Bob, you know. I think Fusion could be huge if they wanted to be, but we like the fact that they actually take what they can, you know, mentor. You know, they don't go over that. You could have 200 kids running around out here, but they don't do it because they like the one-on-one, and that's what we like. Absolutely. They've seen where he needed work, and they know what he needed to work on, and that's what they've addressed throughout this whole process. And each and every year we see the growth, you know, and his mom and I are actually really excited when it comes Friday nights to see what he's learned over the weekend, you know, and put it to use on the field, and it makes us happy, you know, and it makes him happy.
Right.
But yeah, they took things that he needed, and that's what Chris addressed on, and you know, and through that process is always, you know, positive feedback to Dylan too, telling him, you know, you got this, you can do it, and this is how you do it, and Dylan really speaks highly of it, and he enjoys it.
I'm Ray McGee. Ryan McGee is my son. He's been with the Fusion program for 2 years, and we've seen tremendous growth over the last 2 years. He loves to play the game, and the instruction that he received from Chris in the Fusion program it's been everything that you could hope for. His mental game has probably stepped up just immensely, and with the ability he's learned to dominate with the moves that he's been taught and the techniques that he's been taught, and he's learned to use those techniques exactly like he's been taught. And when you can do it to perfection, unstoppable. No one can stop him. So he's attended some college camps this summer, and at one camp that he went to, he had the wide receiver coach and the head coach come up to him after the camp and said, where did he learn how to do that? And they said that it takes us 2 years, and we hope we hope we get that skill set out of him after we've taught him for 2 years. So with him coming in like that, it saves us 2 years, and then he can come in and make an impact now, and that's strictly through the program. Another camp we went to, I had 4 parents come up to me. There was 2 sessions, like a 3.5-hour session in the morning and a 3.5-hour session in the afternoon. After the practice, they came up to Ryan and myself, 4 parents, 4 different parents, and said, does he ever drop a ball? and I said, not too many. I said, but he is, he's caught thousands of balls. I said, I've seen a lot of training. I've seen a lot of programs. We've been to different programs, but by far this the Fusion program, and with Chris Thomas, is inspirational. So they break it down in steps, and you master the steps as you go, and with different methods. And then as you master the steps, it's over and over and over and over until the technique is perfected. But it's step by step, and then as it progresses, you put all those steps together. And the way they get there is through. They also have quality quarterbacks that are here too, which makes a big difference because you gotta have somebody throw to you. He teaches them this confidence and the mental part of the game. And once you master that, it doesn't matter who's in front of you. It doesn't matter. They have no fear of nobody. They have no fear of failing. They just know that when the ball comes their way, they're going to catch it, and they're going to be open. And they know. And he instills a sense of confidence. That being Chris instills a sense of confidence with his intellectual and his mental game, and then with supporting it with the proper techniques. That it's unstoppable. I'll tell you that there's a lot of camps. There's a lot of different things going on, and you're not going to get this what they offer at Fusion. If you're going to spend the time and you're going to spend the effort, this is the only way that you're going to. This way I know works, and this way it's how would I say it costs a little bit. It costs a little bit to do it, but if you're going to spend the time, it's no choice. Hands down, best program, the most knowledgeable staff. They teach you a complete game. I've seen guys that come in and couldn't catch, and I wouldn't call them extremely good athletes by any means. And then you watch them progress over 2 years with not the best athletic ability, but just through this program, it's been immeasurable, the success that it brings you.
So I'm Trevor Smith, and I heard from Fusion. I heard about Fusion from Samuel Ancelotti and Nathan Jones, and one of the main reasons I want to come here is because of my JV year. Samuel Ancelotti had a lot of catches and a lot of yards, and he was telling me about this camp. And Nathan Jones improved his game a lot too, and they made me want to come here, and I wanted to improve my game to be able to compete with them. If I wasn't a part of Fusion, I would definitely do it because it's worth the time and money. It improves every single player. Even the ones who aren't good end up coming out and being way better just because of the camp.